Hey, everybody. Dia Davidson here with another conversation on race. This time we're talking the two M's. I'm talking military and I'm talking medical. And joining me now for this conversation is Dr. Zindell Richardson. He is with the University of Kentucky School of Dentistry. He's one of the chairs of their Oral Health Science Department. Welcome, Dr. Richardson.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Listen, military, Air Force, how did you find yourself there?
I've been in private practice for quite a few years. And honestly, I felt myself circling the drain with my family. I wanted to look at opportunities outside of the private sector. And the military came along, actually got a letter, opened the letter, had the recruiters come through and talk to me. The educational opportunities, benefits, as well as an opportunity to show my family the world were very appealing. So I said, hey, talk with my wife, let's give this a try, give it a break and see what we think. And it turned out here I am 20 years later. So that's how that opportunity came about.
But usually it's military first, then the educational opportunity. So you kind of did things in reverse, didn't you?
You don't know how many people have told me that, to include the military. So that was one of the things even the recruiter had talked about. And I think that what was appealing to them is I had several years of experience in the private sector. And at the time that I was interested in joining, there was actually they did not have enough dentists in the Air Force. So they were recruiting heavily to get dentists within the Air Force.
Is the military something for everybody, or do you have to be, my dad used to say, you have to be a special breed of person to be in the military? Is that true? Or is that my dad just telling me stuff?
I would always listen to your dad. From my understanding, your dad was the Marine, so yeah. I'm not going to go against anything that a Marine says. Special breed, I think you have to have is the military for everyone? Absolutely not. There is it's very strict, and what you have to be, you will be taught discipline, but you have to have some discipline going in. You have to, is it for everybody? No. Is it a special breed? I don't know that I wouldn't call myself special, but it changed me in a lot of ways. I became a lot less of a talker and opinionated until the very end, or when I got in leadership roles, and a lot more of a listener. I think that's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your new position. Welcome back home to the Bluegrass. Let's talk about your position there at the University of Kentucky. A lonesome?
Yes, it is. But I have, I'm surrounded. When you say lonely, lonesome, when I came to the college, it's a bit different for me. I had no idea. I'm the only African-American doctor within the college of dentistry, but I've been welcomed with open arms. So the students, I just want to make sure that the students are able to see me as someone that looks like them. And it's not just particularly African-American students, but other underrepresented minorities, and that they can come and talk to me, especially talk to me about my experiences while I was in college here or in the dental school here, and how they may persevere, but continue. And once we have you, we want to make sure that we keep you. And if you're having a rough time or a tough time, which we all may have, but particularly as a minority, you need someone to reach out to and talk to, because I resemble you, look like you, please come down and talk with me. So from my position here, I'm so happy to be here. I can't tell you, I can talk about that.
Let's talk a little bit about, and of course we know retention is important, but once the students leave and they are in private practice, both white and non-white, when they encounter a minority patient, oftentimes the minority patient is coming very apprehensive, especially if it's someone who does not look like them.
Right.
That's predicated on history of the fear of the medical profession as a whole.
Right.
What are you telling your students? How are you helping your students, not just with the academic process, but with the social issue, the divide sometimes that they have to get over, to have that extra level of sensitivity?
Well, I want the students to understand that every patient that comes through that door is an individual. They're completely different from the last patient they treated, as well as the next patient they're going to treat. From an ethnicity, religion, race, socioeconomic background, we have to, those diverse group of patients that you'll be treating, we can't just standardize it to put everybody into one category. Because you're Black, this is going to be; because you're white, this is going to be; because you're Asian, this is going to be. Take the time to listen. I think the most important thing that you can do with your patient is be sensitive to that some patients are going to be a lot more apprehensive. To take your time, to be patient, to listen. We all know that time is money, but the biggest compliment you can pay your patient is to listen. That's if you read the surveys, my doctor didn't listen to me. My doctor shook his head and went on. I had to tell him 2 or 3 times. If we'll take the time to listen, to take up their own health history, to make them a part of the treatment that they're getting, then I think things will be a lot better. Patient outcomes and patient satisfaction will be a lot better.
Are your teaching techniques being changed or somehow reconfigured due to COVID-19? Because a lot of, especially, your primary care physicians are doing this telemedicine. It's a little more difficult if I've got a toothache. It's not much you can do through the screen for me.
Well,
but there's a lot of things you guys have to do now to protect everybody, isn't it?
yes, ma'am, there is. And I think one of the things, well, first of all, my teaching techniques changed. There's a bit of difference in teaching from where I was before and within the military where I am now. And I'm used to, from the Air Force standpoint, everyone you're teaching throughout all the residencies are postgraduate dental students. They come in as doctors. So my technique has changed a bit because the DMD students that we're teaching now, this is all brand new to them versus where in the Air Force, I'm teaching, or we were teaching doctors. So with the COVID and bringing COVID into this situation, we're a lot more cautious. Our PPE, where we didn't wear shields before. As a matter of fact, it's odd that you asked this at one of the initial briefings that our infection control specialists gave to several of the classes, showing some of the changes. There was a picture put up, and they asked, and the picture was of me doing my extern, and asked, what's wrong with this picture? So back in the day, when I was doing my extern down in Campbellsville, Kentucky, I didn't have on gloves. The assistant didn't have on gloves. I didn't have a mask on. I didn't have any type of shield. And the assistant actually had her finger in the corner of the patient's mouth suction. So,
wow, that has changed. We really have come a long way, haven't we?
That picture.
Yeah.
To let you see what has happened. But yes, we have become a lot more cautious, or we can't enter the clinic now without being in complete PPE, as well as in our simulation lab. We have to have on a mask and a shield, a face shield, to just to participate, because we're within 6 feet of another student. So it's our teaching technique has changed quite a bit. We have to be not in complete full PPE at just our simulation lab, but for the most part, you'll have to come up and I'll show you around and show you what I'm talking about. But
I would love that.
It looks different. The environment is different.
I'm sure. But now talking about that, military, you're in close confines. Dentistry, you have to get real close to people, and it's that aeration issue. In this era of COVID-19, how have both of these, will they ever go back to the way it used to be? Or because there have been so many dramatic changes that have been put in place?
You know, we talk about our new normal, and I don't think that we're going to take plexiglass down from the way that we check in to offices. I don't think we'll have to have patients remain in the vehicles as long as, this is just my opinion, one doctor's opinion. Are the temperature checks going to be there? We're going to ask these questions. I think that's going to last for a while, even after a vaccine is proven to be successful. I still think we're going to have a lot of the new normal out there, and it's going to affect the way the business is done. not only that, what I've seen in this is how do we, with this new normal, with us increasing PPE, with us having to buy or reconfigure our office space, with us thermometers to take temperatures, we're using more PPE. How does that translate into cost and translate into cost to the patient? So we're going to see some change. We're going to see this stick around for a while. We're going to see some changes out there.
A lot of people don't want to wear a mask. What's your feeling about mask wearing? Is that truly helping to curb the spread of COVID-19?
Follow the science, and I'm listening to the science, and I think so. Yes, I think the university campus has done a particularly good job in doing it, and I know here at the College of Dentistry, we have, not only do we wear the mask, we have daily rounds on from our infection control specialists that is ensuring that we're not only wearing masks, but wearing shields, going through the clinics to make sure that. Do I think it works? Absolutely. And am I wearing a mask? If you walk in my office or if you're standing at my door, I have a mask on.
Any reason for the color lavender?
It's odd that I saw our financial subject matter expert had one on, and I asked, hey, where did she get that? And the infection control specialist had given them to her, and she pointed her out, and the next thing I know, I had some on my desk. But I've got, ma'am, I'll not only have masks, I can reach here. I'm set up.
Oh, no. I thought you were going to tell me the purple had to do with Omega Psi-Phi, since you're friends with my husband. So I thought you were going to say you're an Omega.
No, ma'am,
no comment, huh?
No, I'm not any frat, so.
Well, I thank
my
you.
Friend, though.
Yes, indeed. He adores you. He adores you. Thank you so very much, Dr. Richardson, for sharing your thoughts. And thanks so very much for listening in on our conversation on race. We're talking military and we're talking medicine. If you're interested in listening to any of the other conversations, just log on to LAX18's social media platforms. Until next time, I'm Dia Davidson.